everyone. It's Nina Collins from the Woolfer, and we're here today to talk to Martino, correct?
Yeah,
Not
that's
Martino,
right. Yep.
Martino.
You got it.
Tina Martino, who is a longtime Woolfer, who's doing this really adventurous kind of wild thing. So we called this armchair travel. And I really just wanted to sit down and hear from Tina and have her tell us her story. So I got to know you, I don't know, probably 2 or 3 years ago in What Would Virginia Woolf Do? And we just knew each other online, and I've always liked your voice. And sometime in the last COVID year, I became aware that you were traveling across country. So tell us a little bit about what happened. I know that you're an account executive, you've continued to work. You're basically living a mobile, remote life, is my
That's right.
understanding.
Yeah, that's right.
Tell
Okay,
us how it happened.
I will. It's kind of crazy. So if you told me a year ago that I'd be doing this, I think I would have said you were crazy. It's definitely COVID inspired. I bought a house last year in Kingston, which for those not in New York, it's about 2 hours north of Brooklyn.
Yep, I lived there as a kid.
You did? Okay. Yeah. Great little town. And, the idea was to go back and forth, between the two. And then of course things started getting kind of crazy with COVID. And I thought, okay, I'm going to go up to the house for, a couple of months. Well, we know how that turned out. I was there for a long time. So I was in my great house, cute little house. But it was on a super loud corner. And I didn't know anyone, of course.
You had just bought it and you were alone.
Yes, just bought it. I knew one person. I knew my friend who was my real estate agent. Okay. And then I got to know my neighbors across the street, like waving and saying hello, very great people. But I just decided that I didn't think I wanted to stay there. I was feeling very stagnant. And my friend said, if you don't love this house, like if you don't love everything about it, now's the time to sell because the market was exploding.
Right, because everyone wanted stuff upstate.
Yeah.
So tell us, what month was this roughly?
Okay, so I closed on the house in January, and this was maybe June-ish.
Okay, so that's crazy timing. So you closed on it right before COVID.
Yes,
yes. To have this back and forth life.
Yeah.
And when March comes, you're shut down.
Yeah.
Spend a couple months there, a few months there, and you're like, fuck, this is hard. Alone, I'm in New York, there's a lockdown.
Yes.
And that makes a lot of sense that your broker friend was like, look, if you're not loving this is, you can actually make a lot of money from January to June, I would imagine, or at least somewhat of a profit selling your house at that time.
Totally did. I totally did. It's funny, everyone who looked at the house, and there were a lot of people, they were either from Brooklyn, or there were a few from New Jersey. And almost all of them had children because, being cooped up in an apartment with a child.
Everyone needed space. And everyone, the interesting thing during those intense months of COVID, obviously we were all so home focused, right? So it was like your home was everything. So people needed a home. My brother moved out of the city. He has little kids during that time. Yeah. All right. So you decide you're going to sell your house, but then you're thinking you don't want to go back to Brooklyn?
Well, so I sublet my apartment in Brooklyn. And I didn't want to go back to Brooklyn because quite honestly, so I live in a brownstone, and it was a little crazy because people in the building had autoimmune issues.
What neighborhood?
Park Slope. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I didn't think I wanted to go back there until things quieted down. So I thought, okay, maybe I'll rent an apartment in Kingston. And then my friend, the real estate agent, bought a camper, and I was like, oh, I could travel safely. Yeah. I could not feel stagnant, and possibly I could see some people that I know if I could do it safely.
Right, if they're willing to see and be seen, and you could kind of have an adventure. That you can have an adventure. This is so cool.
Yes.
Wait, tell me, Tina, where are you from originally?
So originally New Haven, but what you're hearing, I grew up in North Carolina for a big portion of my childhood.
Okay.
Yeah.
And remind me how old you are?
I'm 55.
Okay. This is so cool. I love this. So, and had you ever done anything like this before? Had you ever been in a camper?
We camped a little bit as a kid, in Connecticut, in that, Northeast area. But no, I never thought about doing this. I thought at some point I would love to, travel cross country. I didn't do it after college. So I thought, okay, maybe when, down the road, when I retire.
I don't know if you remember, but a couple years ago, I drove across country for the first time with a guy I met after my divorce. And it was so great. I had never driven across country. It was such a great experience. We did it in 2 weeks, and it was like, oh my God.
That's amazing.
I want to do this a million times. It was really fun.
What was your favorite part? I'm curious.
Um, we did the kind of New York, Asheville, Nashville. We went to Alabama, where Arkansas, sorry, where Clinton's from. We saw the Clinton Museum.
Yeah.
Colorado, across Kansas, Colorado, to
Nice.
LA. God, I loved all of it, honestly. I loved going to that amazing museum in Arkansas, Crystal Gables, I think it's called. It's a newish modern art museum, was super
Okay.
cool. I loved driving through like the forests of Tennessee. I thought it was just kind of surprising and awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, every single thing about it, like one of my daughters went to college in California, so she's done it now 3 times, and I'm
Oh,
super
wow.
jealous. And
Yeah.
the thing is about it, as you know better than anyone, it's not that hard. You get in your car and you
Yes.
go. Like,
Yes.
I
Yeah.
could do it today if I wanted to.
That's
And
right.
it's funny that you made a decision to do it, because I went and lived at my beach house where I'd never spent more than a week, I think. And
Yeah.
I'd always thought, oh, I wish I could spend a season out in the spring sometime. And it was like, you can just go there.
Right. Right.
I mean,
Right.
I lived there for a year. It was great. So, okay. So how did you decide what kind of vehicle to get, and how did you deal with work? Tell us what you do for work.
Okay, so I'm an account executive for 2 companies. They're both based in Southern California, and I'm in LA right now. So I saw one of the companies in San Diego last week, and then I've been at the other company in LA this week, which has been great. Because, I haven't seen them since 2019, probably the beginning of 2019. I talked to them a lot, but, it's much different when you can actually talk to someone in person.
Yeah, it's nice.
So, yeah. So, okay, so type of vehicle. I wanted something that I felt somewhat comfortable driving.
Mm-hmm.
And I had driven a big van before, so I thought this might work. And I just thought it would be really manageable. I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to do some crazy backing up shit.
Yeah, and also I find what's really daunting about those motorhomes, because I've looked into them. I've had that fantasy too, like the Airstream. The whole water aspect kind of grosses me out. Like, how do you deal with the black water and the hooking up? And
so you know the terms. I'm impressed. You know the terms.
Well,
yeah.
You know why I know them? Because I went to Burning Man twice, and we rented one.
Okay.
They took care of it for us at Burning Man, but it was my first insight into what was complicated about the motorhome. So you don't have a bathroom or a kitchen. You're in a van.
I have a bathroom and a kitchen, so it's fully outfitted. It's a Thor outfitted Dodge Ram chassis.
Okay, and it looks like an Amazon van, one of those big black Amazon delivery vans.
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
Yep.
Wow.
So I can park in a standard parking space. I mean, I stick out a little bit, but I'm fine in a standard parking lot. Okay. So I wanted something that was pretty easy to maneuver. It's easy to back up. I'm actually pretty good at backing up, I have to say. So, and when you're
it doesn't have any windows then, does it, along the sides?
It does have windows. So it's also got, an air conditioner. It's got a generator. It's pretty fancy. I mean, I say it's pretty fancy, but the act of camping, to your point about the water, is not glamorous.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
no glamour when you're like hooking up the water hose, and you're hooking up
but you learned how to do it, and it's not that hard.
Anybody can do it. Seriously. I mean, I think to your point about just getting in your car is that, we can do anything basically. Instead of looking at this huge picture, like, oh my God, I'm going to go all the way across the United States. It's like, I'm going to drive to Maryland, and then I'm going to drive to Richmond, right?
And then I'm going to see what happens, and then exactly.
Right.
Actually, Richmond is a place I didn't go to on my trip, and I regret it. I want to see Richmond. I think we had a moment where we were like, we could go to Richmond or we should go to Asheville, and we went to Asheville. Yeah. There's so many places to see.
So many places, yeah.
So, and how did you decide on this? Sorry, I'm a little hung up on the vehicle because I love cars.
Yeah, totally, yeah.
On this versus an Airstream, say, or something else?
I didn't want to tow anything.
Okay.
Nice. Although it would be nice to have a vehicle when you park, because it's problematic, when you're constantly, like, if you want to go somewhere and you have to unhook everything and then you have to come back and hook everything up. So I tend to stay in places when I park, and plus I don't like moving the cats around a lot because they don't love when the
Oh my God, you brought 2 cats with you? How many cats? Wait, so you have cat litter in this vehicle?
Yes, let's just make it even more icky.
Okay, that's so impressive. What color is your vehicle? Just so I
So
can visualize.
it's dark gray.
Okay.
It's almost black.
I want to see a picture of this. This is honestly the
Yeah.
coolest thing. So you left in June, and what was your plan?
So actually, I decided in June. I closed in October.
Okay.
Like, so originally I thought, oh, I'm going to rent something in Kingston, but then I decided to buy something. So then I went to Camping World, another glamorous place.
I've seen Camping World. Isn't it on like the freeway or something?
Yes, it's right there on the highway.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Very appealing.
yeah, it's huge. I mean,
Yeah.
anyway, so I went there and I started talking to them about what I wanted. I test drove a Class B, which is something, it looks more like a, like a standard camper, but it's an RV. And then I test drove, a Class B, which is what I have, but they didn't have my particular model. So basically I bought it sight unseen, which is what you had to do because if you've looked into this at all, like people are waiting 6 months to a year.
That's right. It's funny. I'm about to order a new car because they told me it's going to take 6 months to get it. So.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's really crazy. So anyway, so I was a little proactive. I called Thor in Indiana because I wanted to get this ball going. And so I talked to a sales rep and he said, I think there's something on the assembly line that will work for you. And so 6 weeks later, I had it.
That's amazing.
It happened so quickly.
When you bought it, you must have owned a car before because you were driving up to Kingston. What'd you do with that car?
I sold the car. Listen, I bought a house. In Brooklyn, I had a car, but like it sat there. It was older. But anyway,
wait, your accent is super cute, and it cracks me up that you're from Connecticut. But okay, go on.
Well, we moved when I was 11. I think wherever you went to high school is what you really stick with. And I feel like I can't hear it sometimes, of course, unless I've had a cocktail or two, or if I get kind of animated. But I forgot what I was saying.
You sold your car. Your car.
Okay, so I bought the car in March. I bought the car in January. I bought the house and the car in January.
Oh, no.
And then I sold them both.
Did you buy the car brand new?
Yes.
Ugh, so you took a loss on the car.
Yeah, but not really, because it was a Crosstrek and they were so excited to get it back.
Okay.
So, and everything I read said that it wouldn't be smart to, even to store it for a year. They said it's not good to.
No, it's not.
I was like, eh. Yeah. So I have a house full of furniture in Kingston and a storage unit. And then I have my apartment. Yeah. And the 2 cats. Yeah. Yeah.
And the van inside, is it all outfitted? Like, obviously there's a bed. It's not just like a van with a mattress on the floor. It's like.
No, that's okay. It is. So I think it's 6'2" or 3". Okay. The height of the van. So, and I'm 5'5", so I got lots of room. But no, there's a 2-burner stove. There's a refrigerator. I have solar panels, so my refrigerator never turns off. I mentioned I have a generator. I have AC. I have heat.
And you have Wi-Fi, obviously. Now, did you tell your bosses that you were leaving, or did you not need to? Like, I don't know.
No, I shared. I have a long-term relationship with both companies. One I've been working with for 20 years. The other I've been working with for 15. So no, it wasn't. It was just, and I think they were excited about seeing me too, because I was like, I'm coming out there, because otherwise, when would I have come? Like maybe
when would you have this about now. All right. So you left then in like October.
So October. Then I rented a house in Kingston for 1 month so I could get my shit together.
Okay.
And try to figure out this van. And then I left November 21st. Okay. And then I was in Richmond for a couple of weeks for, like around Thanksgiving. And then I went down to Florida and I was there for 4 months because I really wanted to learn about the van. Mm-hmm. Because quite honestly, I had done so much travel on the East Coast that felt not challenging at all to me. Mm-hmm. But, taking the left out of Florida, that felt scary.
You'd never driven in that part of the country or
only if I flew somewhere, and then drove a little bit, but no, never to drive through.
You were nervous at that point.
I was, yes. Yeah, that felt different and that felt scary. It's like push through the fear.
Good for you.
Keep on. Yeah.
So when you say you wanted to learn about the van, what does that entail? Like you just wanted to feel comfortable with your whole living experience and driving it a little bit more and.
Yeah, and learning, everything is so technical on the van. You know, like I have an app on my phone that can control the lights and then another panel is for the heat. And so there were just a lot of things I wanted to be really familiar with. So that was just like one less thing to concern myself when I did start west.
Yeah.
You know, I just feel as confident as I could about the things that I had control over.
Yeah.
So, and plus I had a really good friend who lives outside of Tampa.
Yeah.
So,
also winter is a nice time
yeah,
to be in Florida.
totally.
COVID and winter, you might as well be in Florida.
Right. I might do it again. It's so funny. I have a lot of friends that are going to be there next winter. And I was talking to another friend and I said, it's so unusual. It's like all these people are going to be in Florida. And she said, that's because we're old, Tina.
It is. It's because I have one of my dearest friends is going to Florida next month in the summer for 2 months.
Yeah.
She's crazy, but I have a feeling she's going to end up, she's one of these people, she's from Long Island, her parents are in Florida. She's going to end up living in Florida. Like we're approaching that age where people are going to move to Florida.
It's like you never thought it's always the other generation that's going to do that. But
yeah,
exactly. Then of course, yeah.
Okay, so some questions I have are like, are you going to do this forever? Is this your life now? How did you feel about the movie Nomadland?
Yeah.
Are you dating? Have you had sex in your van?
I have not had sex in my van. That's another conversation. Oh my God, we could talk seriously about sex. We could talk a whole other conversation. But no sex in the van. And very few people have been in the van. The cats, I think it's upsetting for the cats. It's so funny. You can see one of my cats right there.
Yeah. You're in a hotel room now, I assume.
Yes, I am in a hotel room. I do that. I've done that twice. A break for me and a break for them. So like every 6 weeks or so. And then I was house sitting for Florida in a little while. So that was kind of nice.
Did you see the movie Nomadland?
Thank you for that reminder. Yes, I did see it. You know, it's so different because I feel like she really was doing this because she had to. It was more of a work situation that people were traveling where the work was. Yeah. And so, I mean, a lot of people have asked me about Nomadland, and quite honestly, it made me feel really privileged. Right. And I really started thinking more deeply about this whole hashtag van life because I'm a member of quite a few Facebook groups that are into camping, or there's one that's for women traveling in vans. And I think a lot of these women have a very different scenario. You know, they're doing it because they have to, because maybe they've been in danger. I mean, it's just different conversations happening.
It's really interesting to think about.
Yeah. Like
that makes me think, actually, my son took a year where he was ostensibly going to be traveling around the country. He ended up mostly staying with his sisters or girlfriends in various places. Mm-hmm. But I learned from him that you can sleep in a Walmart parking lot anywhere in the country, right? That there are security people and bathrooms, and it's like a thing that van life people know and do. Did you ever do that?
I haven't. You know, one night I thought I might, but then I ended up, so it's called boondocking when you're not attached to electricity or water, if you're just freestanding. And a lot of people do that, you know, they'll do it in these beautiful, nature settings, but then people also do it, you know, they might do it on the street or they might do it at Walmart. And I think I like to have as much control as I possibly can on the things that I can actually make plans on. So I've tried to have reservations every night for my camping. Yeah.
I mean, in no way, you're organized and privileged, and you know you're doing it a certain way, which is nothing to be ashamed of. It's super awesome.
Right.
It's a choice you've made, and it's an adventure you're having.
Yeah. No, I love it. I love what I'm doing. To answer your other question, I do not plan on doing this forever. I am so looking forward to bathrooms and kitchens and closets again. Yeah. So my plan, and especially for the cats too, my plan is to be back on the East Coast by Thanksgiving.
Oh, but that's still a while.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to go up to Washington and then then I'm going to take a right, head back over east, you know.
You have friends in Washington?
You know, do I have friends? You know, I feel like I know people because of you, Nina.
Because of the Woolfer, there are women everywhere.
Yes. I mean, I have to say, I do not feel alone. That's the one really cool thing. I mean, so Therese Connor, and then Vicki Waits, and then Lisa English. She's the one who
organized, right? That looked so fun. Those pictures.
Oh my God.
Great. I mean, I totally relate to this. When I traveled across country, I would post and be like, I'm going to be in Memphis tomorrow. I would have lunch with a bunch of Woolfers. Yeah. I can tell you in Seattle, there are lots of great women there. Yeah. But who come to mind you should meet? Linda Floyd.
Okay.
Linda Drew Walsh.
Okay, I'm writing this down. Yep.
Seattle, and and we have great women in Portland.
I'm going there too. Yeah.
Pat Towers in Portland. Anyway, you'll post and people will.
I will.
But feel free to reach out to me because I've met a lot of these women in those.
Okay.
Places. So what's fun? That's great, and we have really cool women in Chicago and Minneapolis.
I'm going there too. So whoever's watching, get ready. So yeah. Yeah.
So your apartment sublet is over in the fall and you'll come back for that? Is that?
So it's over December because he signed again. So the end of December. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I miss New York, but I'm not sure if I'm going to go back or if I'm going to end up moving back to Richmond. It's a big question mark. It's a TBD. Yeah.
Okay. And then I guess you'll have to figure out what to do with the van, whether you sell it or keep it. I mean, I wonder if there'll be like an element of you're kind of addicted to this life in a certain way and you'll want to keep it for adventures. I don't know, but it might be expensive.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting you said that because I think for me, like I can feel stagnant super easily.
Me too.
So yeah. So I think I'm going to try to make it work that I can live part-time in Richmond and part-time somewhere else or either traveling. I don't know exactly what that's going to look like yet, but that feels good to me because I can feel really claustrophobic quickly.
Yeah.
You know?
I need change too. I feel like it's really just, I finally accepted this is just who I am. Like,
yes.
I like to start things. I like to move on.
Yes.
Just the way I am. And it's okay.
And I think, yes, it is okay. And it's really special. You know, I think a lot of people have those feelings, but they don't act on them out of fear. They sit where they are.
I think it's true. I think, I used to kind of beat myself up about it a little more and I have changed my perspective on it. Like I've realized, like even with work, I have kind of a founder's mentality. I realize like I like to build things.
Yeah.
And then it has to become something else or it's the same, it's stagnant. It's the same way.
Yeah.
And it's, for a lot of people, it is fear. And I feel like that's something maybe because my mom died when I was young or something, I have such an awareness that like, we don't have that long.
Yeah.
And I want to keep doing things, you know?
Yeah. That's huge too. To actually do it.
And you've never had kids, right? And never been married?
No.
And you're enjoying your life, single and happy.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I could have been married a few times. I would have been divorced a few times. Nothing wrong with that. I just opted not to do that whole thing. Yeah, I know. Yeah, but I actually think it's really brave to get married. I have to say and again, that's a whole other conversation. But yeah, I mean, I would certainly like a partner. It's you know, I didn't date last year, of course. I think I went on like 2 strange, weird, you know, socially distanced dates.
Yeah.
Kingston. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, hopefully at some point.
Well, it's a hot vaxxed and waxed summer.
Yeah,
so driving
exactly.
I'm sure. I bet you'll have sex in your van this summer. I wouldn't disagree.
We'll see. I'll let you know. We can
keep
do a Tina's sex life update.
Okay, Tina, this was really, really fun. I love that we did this. I can't wait. I'll see you when you get back on the East Coast at some point.
Totally.
And I'll see you on the app, on the platform, wherever.
Okay. All right.
Really fun, and feel free to reach out to me at any point, seriously, about Woolfers, because
I will.
Have a good sense of where people are, and I know you enough to know who you particularly gel with, probably. So.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, have fun.
Talking to you. Bye.
See you